Hey kids, you're listening to a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast.
Weight loss drug, drop a size without exercise. When I put a spike into my leg, I get full from just one egg. Eating hot dogs with no bun, half a sandwich and I'm done. And I eat, but I just don't gorge. I can see my feet, cause I just don't gorge.
That's right, we're the Simpsons podcast that discusses the animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond, along with the newest episodes when they air. Why do we do it this way? Well, plenty of other podcasts out there have discussed the golden age, that being seasons 1 through 10, so we're out here in podcast land to find if any of those newer episodes can match those golden age episodes. And I don't do this alone, I'm just one annoyed grunt boy named Craig. With me, as always, is our other annoyed grunt boy,
Steve. Hello, Craig.
Hello, Steve. Look, I got some bad news.
Oh, no.
I just went on the internet, scrolling through, and I see Deadline, because I subscribe to Deadline, because I like to know what's going on in the world of entertainment.
You're a Hollywood insider.
I sure am, Steve, and apparently Fox has decided, against our wishes, to renew The Simpsons for 4 more years.
Oh, crap.
Is this unheard of? I feel like 4 years is a big number. I know they've renewed The Simpsons for like 2 extra years, but 4, that's bonkers.
It is, and I feel like, it's a big ask when you have most of the cast who are in their 60s.
70s, Steve.
Yeah, you're right. In their 70s to commit to another 4 years. I mean, it's cool, but are we going to have like a Simpsons 50 special where weird covers of Nirvana will play?
Yeah, I think so. Lauren Michaels will produce it.
Mm-hmm. Dana Carvey won't show up.
Yeah, but 40 years. Yeah, 40 years of Simpsons. This is, look, it's unheard of, but, we're making jokes because the internet was, of course, like, kill the show already, fuck those people. We always say that. But it's still exciting that 4 years of, at least, for The Simpsons. I think it's crazier, too, that I saw that the lineup, and it's not just Simpsons, it's 4 more years. It's like the animation domination. So you have Bob Burgers for another 4. You got Family Guy for another 4. And this is what I thought was interesting. American Dad for another 4. But American Dad has been on, like, TBS for the last, like, decade. And now they're just like, we want it back on Fox.
Yeah, like, it's interesting that, like, you think about the Seth MacFarlane universe and how, like, Family Guy was originally on Fox and then it was canceled. And then because of reruns, it got picked up back on Fox. And now we've had American Dad, which has ostensibly been gone from network television for, like you say, so long. And now it's returning. It's really fascinating.
I haven't caught up with an American Dad episode in quite some time. A lot of people like American Dad more than Family Guy. They say it's a lot better.
I have not really dipped my toe into the Seth MacFarlane world in quite a while, but I do remember watching American Dad and thinking it being a more cohesively written show. Like, their plot is a bit more grounded, while the main character, the Peter, if you will, is less likable than Peter Griffin. I think the surrounding cast is more relatable, and I don't know, I think it's a more interesting show than Family Guy, in my own opinion.
All right. Are we doing a rewatch podcast?
I think so.
The Annoyed Americans. I like it.
Yeah, that works, yeah. I'm American, you're a dad, it works.
And when I think of 4 years, besides of presidencies, I always think of, like, high school. Our high school is 4 years. I think when those episodes air, that 4-year block, let's just pretend we're in high school. So the first year will be freshmen. We'll talk about our homework and our boners that we get and how school was, and talk about our future. Like, God, I can't wait till we graduate high school because we'll be so successful and happy.
Yeah, I can't wait to mature, stop watching cartoons, and live a real life as an adult. I'm not going to eat french fries every day. I'm going to eat healthy, and I'm going to just be smart and healthy and good and not masturbate so much.
Yeah, we'll be at the country club playing tennis every weekend and golf, because that's what adults do.
Mm-hmm. We'll have pipes and slippers and whiskey.
Pipes like in our house. Like we'll have
indoor plumbing.
I mean, yeah. We'll have like 5 cars. We'll have a beach house. We'll have a mountain house. Because that's what adults got to have in the 80s and 70s.
And a water house.
And a space house.
Of course.
All right, Steve. Sadly, that's not the future that we have. Well, where are we going with this? Oh, yeah. 4 more years of The Simpsons. That means we still have more years. Because I think we even talked about, like, if we didn't do new episodes, we'd still have, like, 5 years of content.
Mm-hmm.
But now, add that, Steve. We have 9 years of content.
At least, yeah. So you're stuck with us for nearly a decade.
I'm pretty sure my daughter's going to be taking over my spot pretty soon. So you got to get on that, Steve. Either have a child or train your cat to talk.
I think the latter is probably more likely to happen. So he's usually so quiet, and so we'll never hear from him again. But maybe someday he'll be able to speak.
All right, Steve. Speaking of speaking, let's speak more about this episode that's going to be airing. That already has aired, actually, Steve. So we'll talk about that in the coming hours of this podcast, of this production that you call The Annoyed Grunt Boys. Steve, it's episode called The Last Man Expanding, in which everyone in Springfield is losing weight because of a miracle drug, but only one person says no to drugs, and that's Homer Simpson. But will he succumb to that sweet, sweet drug? Find out after this break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Today we're talking about The Last Man Expanding. It's the 16th episode of the 36th season. It's episode 784 in the show's run. Original air date, April 6, 2025. The nerd code is 36ABF06, written by J. Stewart Burns, directed by Timothy Bailey, and the showrunners Al Jean and Matthew Selman.
Yes, Mr. Burns himself. He got his start by writing for Beavis and Butthead. Then he wrote for The Simpsons and Futurama, as well as the WB hit, or the WB show, Unhappily Ever After, kind of a proto, or post Married with Children, if you will. He is also a video game writer. He wrote for the Spiral games, and was the developer of, or one of the developers of the Simpsons Tapped Out game, May It Rest in Peace.
Steve, I've looked on the internet. This thing, the internet. Have you heard of it? But apparently there's like, there's people out there. If you know how to like jailbreak your phone or something, there's servers, independent servers that are still doing Tapped Out. So
really,
I don't know how to do this kind of stuff. I just saw on the website called the internet.
Mm-hmm. It's a good website.
Yeah, that there's still people out there playing Tapped Out. I guess if you had a jailbroke phone, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to risk any of that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, if you guys still want to play Tapped Out, it's out there.
Wow,
someone's still running the servers.
Of all the things that you could do that's outside of the law or whatever, like to jailbreak your phone, is Tapped Out really what you want to spend your time doing?
Yeah, I'm not sure what I need to jailbreak my phone for. I'm not really. I don't know. I really don't know. Honestly, is there apps that aren't in the Apple Store that I really need?
People who have not Apple phones will tell you that yes, absolutely. But I so rarely these days go to the App Store to download an app. I feel like at this point I have all the apps I need, and it's basically internet, podcast, and weather. Like, what more do I need?
No, I totally agree with you. You know, sometimes I have to get like if I get new products, I'll have an app and then I have to install it, you know, but still, it's like, I don't know the last time I went on my phone and looked at games.
Exactly, yeah.
I guess we're just too old and we don't care anymore.
I mean, I feel like even the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas, they probably don't play games on their phone. They're too busy doing whatever it is they do. Yeah, TikToking, that's right.
That's their game.
That's their life.
Yeah. I know you have the talks, but I have not the ticks.
Like a good dog.
Yeah. Enough about Tapped Out, but still, if you guys want to scour the internet and figure it out, it's out there.
Exciting. So this is the 11th episode that we reviewed of J. Stewart Burns, the 27th that he's written. We have like a big spot of episodes that we haven't talked about in his early career, like Mo Baby Blues, The Way We Weren't, Something About Marrying, just to name a few. The first one that we reviewed is way back in our 99th episode from season 23, Holiday of Future Past, one of those fun holiday episodes that looks into the future. What Animated Women Want, The Days of Future, another one of those. The beloved, since he's a writer for Futurama, the beloved crossover between Futurama and The Simpsons, Simpsorama. Dogtown, which we reviewed not too long ago, Flanders Ladder, Treehouse of Horror 30, The Miseducation of Lisa Simpson, right off this episode, and last season's The Tipping Point.
It's kind of crazy that We Love Random hasn't plopped us into anything before season 23 that he's done.
Yeah, especially since he's been there since season 14, consistently writing at least once a season. Yeah, it's weird.
Which one before season 23's Holiday Future Past? So we have 8 there that we haven't reviewed. So Mo Baby Blues, The Way We Weren't, Something About Marrying, Monkey Suit, Homerazzi, Marge Gamer, Eternal Moonshine, The Simpsons Mind, and Waverly Hills 90210. Out of those, which one are you looking forward to the most?
Oh boy, maybe the Eternal Sunshine one, because that's one of my favorite movies.
Moonshine, the movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hit. And it gets you drunk.
I'm assuming Mo Baby Blues, is that the one where Mo and Maggie have a relationship?
Yeah, it is. That was a fun episode. I vaguely remember that one. I remember Mo doing the Godfather thing, and that was fun.
I think the one I'm not looking forward to is Waverly Hills, because that song parody.
Oh.
Because it's not a good Weezer song, Beverly Hills.
No.
It's a good song in the sense, like, it's an annoying song.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what his intention was? Because it's all about the fakeness of Hollywood or Beverly Hills?
You're giving Rivers Cuomo a lot of credit, because I really feel like the past 20 years of Weezer, their whole thing has been to make annoying songs, but maybe that's just me.
Are you saying if he didn't go to Harvard, the band would be better?
Yes, although I'm saying actually that there's a sliding door situation where Matt Sharp, the bassist, never left to make the the rentals with Maya Rudolph, and had that not happened, I think the Weezer would be a better band, and that's when they begin to fall apart, but that's my own thought.
Here's a weird side tangent. Do you remember that time, I think it was him or the drummer from Weezer? Like, it was a Leno bit. I forget the bit, but he goes to like someone's apartment or house, knocks on their door, and just asks them some questions. Was that a bit like he just went to people and interviewed just like people in their houses? Don't remember.
That does sound familiar.
The bit was like, he opens the door, he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "Hey, my name's Jay Leno." I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, "What do you do?" He's like, "Well, I'm in a band." He's like, "Oh, really? That's interesting. What's this band?" And he's like, "It's Weezer. We've been on your show." He's like, "Oh, yeah, Weezer. Yeah. Good. Do you have to drive a car?"
Stay tuned for coding.
Stay tuned for coding. Good old days. Yeah, weird tangents we went off of, but yeah. Stick around for our Patreon podcast where it's going to be the Annoyed Wheezy Boys.
That's right.
And wasn't Weezer, their name came from the Wonder Years.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking of Millhouse. I'm like, didn't Millhouse have like a hamster named Weezer? I'm like, oh no, that was Paul from the Wonder Years. He had a hamster named Weezer.
That's right. And also, Rivers Cuomo's dad liked the Little Rascals, and evidently there was a Weezer on that show as well.
Oh, so maybe that's where it came from.
I think they're both legends have been mentioned, and so who knows?
And of course, Paul grew up to be Marilyn Manson.
That's right, totally non-problematic alt rocker.
And I'm sure Rivers and Marilyn Manson have been in an orgy together.
That would make sense. Actually, no. River Cuomo seemed like the kind of guy who would like sit in the corner and watch and masturbate while other people have orgies.
Are you saying Rivers is a cuck?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
All right, well, Steve said it, not me.
Just like Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly was a horrible pilot, though.
That's true.
Okay, Steve, should we just get on with this week's episode?
Yes, and we start with a title gag, which features Sideshow Bob soaring across the screen, riding a rake in the same outfit, a tuxedo, kind of reminiscent of Dumb and Dumber, that he wore in the Disney Plus short, The Most Wonderful Time of the Year.
We were so close to having a chalkboard gag, weren't we?
I really thought that we were going to get one, yeah.
It starts off in the car with Homer and his rod.
But no Todd.
But it's a couch gag chaos, Steve, in which the Simpsons, in the place of balls in a pinball machine of the same name. So they smash through the playfield, passing through the nuclear waste, hitting the Queeky, Marge, and Moe's, and buffers in the shape of stacked donuts. And he is being flung around, and Homer shouts that this guy must be a pinball wizard, referencing, of course, the iconic Who song. Marge and the kids land on the couch, and Homer is thrown to the left corner in section 7G, where he complains being at work. So, this is a fun couch gag.
Really feels classic, like, season 6 couch gag. Like, it could be from any of the classic age-up Simpsons, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's quick, but it covers a lot of ground. It's a lot of fun. And also, I believe, in the pinball world, the Simpsons game is right up there with The Sopranos or The Family Guy as, like, one of the better marketed pinball cabinets.
Now I don't know if I've played The Simpsons pinball.
It's actually exactly the same as the Family Guy, like, structurally.
And I'm not sure if I've played that Family Guy. I have played the Sopranos one, and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I haven't played pinball in quite a bit, especially since I don't frequent bars ever. And so I don't run into pinballs. But I had a moment where I was, like, kind of into them, and they're kind of fun. And yeah, the Simpsons ones is always fun.
I think we've had enough chit-chat about pinballs and wizards and goblins.
And ghouls.
Let's just begin the episode, Steve.
Alrighty, and our episode begins, as it always does, at 11 a.m. on a weekday at Moe's. Sure, Lenny may be right on schedule, enjoying his third beer of the morning, but Homer feels that something is amiss.
So Carl notices something off as well, asking Moe if his recent health inspection grade is missing. And Moe assures Carl that the sign displayed on the back mirror, which says "Drink Duff," has always been there, despite the fact that the letters D and F are made up for failing and near-failing health code scores. The barkeeper chuckles, hoping to receive a U the following year. So after some thought, Lenny thinks he has it figured out.
I know what's missing. Did a woman named Diane used to work at this bar, and now she's been replaced by a woman named Rebecca?
If a woman named Diane had a lead role in a bar like this, why would she ever leave? That'd be career suicide.
No, it's not some smart, ambitious woman that's missing. In fact, it's the complete opposite of that.
Barney!
No, Barney? When's the last time he was here? Oh, God. He's been gone at least a week.
Hi, guys.
Beat it, String Bean. We're trying to figure out what happened to our friend Barney.
I'm Barney. Ta-da! Boom.
And you ain't Barney. Barney Gumble is overweight, boozed up, can't go 2 seconds without unleashing a...
Barney!
All right, I have some bones to pick, Steve.
I thought you might.
As much as I love that bit in the beginning with Lenny thinking that Moe was missing a waitress named Diane, then a waitress named Rebecca. Obviously, it's a Cheers reference. And Carl going off about how Shelley Long left Cheers because that was a stupid thing and, tried to get into the movies and obviously didn't succeed. I mean, Shelley Long's had an okay career after Cheers, but nothing like what she wanted. She wanted to be probably the next Meryl Streep, right?
Mm-hmm.
That aside, so they make that joke funny. But you know what? They've already made that joke. You know who made that joke?
Who's that?
Cheers.
So, what did I miss? Why is that girl running around screaming at everybody?
Well, she's trying to convince them that Godzilla's merely confused, not really trying to hurt them.
Isn't that the part usually played by Akira Nakamura?
Yeah. But she left halfway through the Godzilla series.
I don't understand. Why would an actress leave right in the middle of a successful series?
Cheers did it.
Yeah, sorry, J. Stewart Burns. You've been cheered.
Boom. And also, let's not forget how great Shelley Long was in the Brady Bunch movies.
Oh, yeah, of course. As a Cheers fan, through it's on my Mount Rushmore of sitcoms of all time.
Of course, yes.
I've always been a Diane over Rebecca any day, but that's not saying I don't like Rebecca. Also, an amazing character in her own right. So it's every character on that show is amazing and great. There's never a dud on the cast or character. That's all I'm saying. But
yeah,
always was a Sam. Sam and Diane guy.
And I don't want to get off on, I know we're going very tangent heavy today, but I do want to say how impressed I am with Cheers, both replacing Coach with Woody and Diane with Rebecca, having characters that are similar in dynamic, but unique enough to be their own person. I think that's a hard thing to do, and it didn't feel like they were just replacing them just because, like, the characters felt real and earned, and I think that's really cool.
One of the best sitcoms, Steve. I think we should do a podcast about that.
I think so. The podcast where everyone knows your name.
But they don't talk about Cheers. I mean, they do, but they don't do a rewatch.
Yeah. Okay, back to The Simpsons. Barney's really skinny, and he looks weird. But he's the first of many people who will look weird in this episode. But as Carl acknowledges that Barney lost a significant amount of weight, Springfield's most notorious alcoholic explains that he was feeling a little blah. So he visited a doctor who suggests that he take some tests. Moe and the Barflies jump to the worst conclusion, leaving Carl to ask, why does God take all the people that drink themselves to death?
Speaking of dead drunk, Steve.
Yeah, we got Larry's urn once again sitting on top of the love tester, a nice homage to the dead guy.
And Sam must be actually at his job this weekday morning, right? He's out there.
Whatever he does, he's good. Yeah, he's a good worker until, 5 p.m. when he gets blackout drunk.
He just looks like a guy that works in a warehouse or, like, drives a forklift.
Just a nice blue-collar job. Like, no pressure, but he gets paid a lot of money, and it's good.
Sure. So Barney assures his pals that it's not nearly as bad as they think. The test just simply informed Barney that he has hyperglycemia. And Letty assumes that it means Barney has low blood sugar. But as Carla rudely corrects him, Barney said hyper, not hypo. Any idiot could tell the difference. Idiot.
Moe is relieved that his best customer isn't dying, aside from the same slow, horrible way that all of us are dying. That existential thought, though, makes Moe check in on his life insurance policies of Homer, Carl, Lenny, and Barney, telling the file holders, soon enough, my pretties.
Barney is feeling good, especially after he was prescribed a medication that regulates his glucose called Oinquick. He holds up the box of the wonder drug, which warns to take only as directed or, however you want. Barney explains that the weight loss is simply a side effect. He then does a can-can behind a beam which obscures his body, revealing only his legs as he kicks.
Carl's impressed by a drug with such a helpful side effect, reminding him of another such medicine. So the guys go all to celebrate until Moe finds a downside to Barney's new lifestyle choice.
Wow, a medicine that actually makes you skinny? That's the best side effect since Viagra was created for... What was Viagra created for?
I think it was to help comedy writers.
Oh,
yeah, I think that's
Those
right.
are always funny.
Hey, let's celebrate. Refresh my memory. Beer's your drink, right?
No thanks. Another welcome side effect is I no longer crave alcohol. 1 club soda with lime, please.
Don't crave alcohol. I can't let the secret get out. What secret?
Wonder weight loss drug.
Oh, hey, Lou. Want to hear the big news I'm going to tell everyone?
Yeah, but Chief, the bank robbers are right over there.
And they can stay there until I tell you this interesting fact. It all started at Moe's. You know the place, next to the music store?
You mean the one the bank robbers are holed up in?
You keep interrupting. I'm just going to talk slower.
So obviously, this is a parody of Ozempic.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of figured that out last week when we read the parody. I guess if it works, right?
Yeah, unless... we're going to talk about it, I'm sure, but, I have conflicting thoughts on the drug.
Are you a doctor?
Not the last time I checked, no.
But do you play one on TV?
I do, sometimes, yes.
All right, so it's okay.
Dr. Feelgood. I like that they talk about Viagra as another thing that had a different purpose, and they don't know what it's for except for helping comedy writers. First of all, it was a heart medication for angina, which is a funny comedy word as well.
Medication, yeah, it is pretty good.
For a moment, I thought that the joke might have 2 meanings about helping comedy writers. One, because it's a funny comedy topic that comedians run it into the ground, but also because maybe comedians can't, get it up.
I think it's a win-win for comedy writers, because, hey, people would think because, Viagra is such a great punchline, but in reality, they're all limp-dicked cucks.
Yeah, so if you ever see Matt Selman or J. Stewart Burns or Timothy Daly or anybody from The Simpsons carrying a bag of Viagra, just know that they're probably doing it for comedy research and not to get a boner.
And let them know they're limp dick cucks.
Exactly. They want to hear it.
As Wiggum tells us, it's a few weeks later, and he is noticing the side effects of a Oinquick, looking much thinner and having the stamina to chase purse snatcher Jailbird Snake down the street and catching him before he can climb over a wall. Wiggum returns the purse to its rightful owner, Agnes Skinner, who needs to give something to her son, and Seymour assumes it's a calming butterscotch that he's about to receive, but it actually is several wallops from the purse as Agnes tells him to never leave her alone, followed by the instruction to leave her alone.
Fellow cop Lou is impressed by the wonder drug, causing Clancy to order Lou to stick his hand down his now very baggy pants. Hearing this, Lou resigns, but since he'll be still on the force for another 2 weeks, Chief Wiggum tells him to dig his hand deeper into his trousers, as he tells Lou that his life has been changed. In fact, he and Sarah are making whoopee again, in the hopes of making more Ralphies of all sorts. A big one, a girl one, and even one that looks more like Eddie, which causes Eddie to nervously shift his eyes, which I think is a really fun joke because there's, jokes on the internet about how Ralph looks a lot like Eddie the cop and less like Wiggum and Sarah Wiggum.
Yeah, one of my favorite bits in this episode. So, you have been redeemed, J. Stewart Burns.
Well done.
You stole the Cheers joke, but you took something that us internet nerds love, and that's references.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, can we reenact the scene there with Lou and Wiggum, and I'll be Wiggum? And here, can you just reach down my pants?
I quit this podcast.
Hey, you still have 2 decades to finish this podcast.
That's right. It got renewed for 4 more years.
All right. Well, the people of Springfield are both impressed and curious about Oinquick, since previous actions have proved ineffective.
Must try this drug. Diet and exercise do not work for me, as I do not do them. So does it come in gummy or vape?
It's in a convenient needle that you inject yourself with once a week, but you need a prescription. To the doctor, then the pharmacy.
Another fun little bit with the captain there.
Yeah, I know that. I like the pirate speak. And throughout this, I just have to shout out the animators for going off model so much in this episode, because Wiggum there, his head is the same size, but his body is so much thinner. And I feel like that's probably got to be weird for the animators to do so many characters who look differently, and I think they do it very fluidly, so it's well done.
And I think it also is when you see a lot of celebrities that are on Ozempic, they look like bobbleheads.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to name names on the podcast, and I don't know if they have said they're on Ozempic, but certain people out there that have lost a tremendous amount of weight, they just have a weird giant head now. Again, not naming names, but maybe a certain American Idol winner who has a talk show and does commercials for Temu or Wayfair. Her head's it just looks weird.
Yeah. I know.
I'm not being negative either, but it is kind of weird. I mean, they reference Oprah later in this episode, and she's another character in the life of characters.
She is a real character. I do think it's interesting, yeah, because celebrities, especially because their image is such a part of their identity, and so when you don't see them in a while, and rather than looking older or chubbier as you might expect them to do with age, they're 40 pounds thinner but also look like a lollipop. It's weird. And I don't want to shame anybody or anything like that, but it is strange when you see somebody oh, what happened to you? Oh, you don't look better, you look different.
Yeah, again, not body shaming, because, I mean, I'll just say it now, I want this fucking drug, so, I mean, gimme is what I'm asking. I don't care if I get diarrhea. I've grown up with diarrhea my whole life. What's a few more months of it, right?
You live with diarrhea, you die of diarrhea. It's one of it's like death and taxes. It's gonna happen. It runs in the family.
I like comic book guys. I've tried the diet and exercise don't work because I don't do that. It was weird. I lost a lot of weight back when I was exercising a lot. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I recently lost a fair amount of weight, not through exercise, but just through not drinking, and thereby not eating so much as a drunk person. And basically, the formula is simple. You cut out a couple thousand calories out of your daily diet, and you lose weight. It's weird.
Yeah, no, the carbs and the sugar from the alcohol, so yeah.
And the inevitable fourth meal that you have with the alcohol. So, as the Bee Gees' Stayin' Alive plays, a newly thin comic book guy plays homage to the John Travolta classic, walking down the street carrying a bucket, but not of paint, but rather a family-sized quantity of Oinquick. Because of his weight loss, his shorts fall to his ankles, but he happily picks them up and keeps on a-struttin'.
I know we have a bit on here called Joke Jail, where there's jokes that we've seen every sitcom, cartoon, late night show do it, right?
Yeah.
Can we have Music Jail?
Ooh, yeah.
Because I feel like the Bee Gees Stayin' Alive, like, I don't want to hear that ever again.
No, and I think that referencing it in that fashion is so, like, the movie's like 50 years old now. Like, we can give it up.
Like, I understand that maybe it's good to have it in the zeitgeist still because it is a way for us to do CPR because you want to, when you pump for CPR, you want to do Stayin' Alive. So when you're like, pumping in the chest, it's like, once I was afraid, I was petrified. Is that an Office joke? I think, yeah.
I think it is, but it goes to show you that any disco song works. I mean, you can go like...
Yeah. So maybe we need to keep that song in the zeitgeist for kids to know that song. But still, it's like that song or any like Village People song.
Like, I don't know, say YMCA maybe?
Or Macho Man.
Yeah.
Again, not a political podcast.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm going to say maybe Bee Gees Stayin' Alive, even though it does help people keep staying alive with CPR. Here's a song, Jill. Is it For What It's Worth is the title?
Something happening here. The Buffalo Springfield?
Buffalo Springfield, yeah. So anytime there's like a Vietnam movie or a war movie, that's a trailer always plays that. There's something happening here. We're done with that song. It's been used too much.
I agree. Also, I love the guy. James Brown, out of movie trailers. Just full stop.
I feel good. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
No. No payback, no feel good. Nothing. No living in America, nothing. Just James Brown, you're done with trailers.
I think, was it last week's episode with Ralph as the gopher with doing the I'm All Right?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
That song slaps. All right.
Kenny Loggins was made to do TV soundtracks, or movie soundtracks, and that's what he does, so he's fine.
Okay, good. All right, well, new segment, Music Jail.
I like it.
So the people of Springfield adapt to the changes caused by the Oinquick, removing the word big from the Big and Tall store and opening another shop called Thigh Gap. Even the rich Texan is hopping on the skinny trend, swapping his 10-gallon hat for a more svelte 5-gallon hat.
So in the offices of C. Montgomery Burns, Waylon Smithers is reluctant to give his boss a dose of the drug, but Monty explains that his goal is to reach a weight small enough that he can fit inside of a mailing tube by Christmas. So after Burns is pricked by Smithers with a needle, his body puckers, allowing him to fit inside of a poster tube, which is oddly addressed to Vladimir Putin.
Oinquick becomes so popular even the local media is reporting on it, including a now skinny Kent Brockman who shares a story entitled, I Love Loose Pants.
For the first time since the invention of the McNugget, America's waistbands are shrinking. Because with this epidemic, people actually want to get their shots. But is this new drug safe? Our answer, yes, of course. What are you, crazy? Won't surprise you after this word from our sponsor.
Do you suffer from blood sugar issues? Or are you just not bathing suit ready and willing to claim you have blood sugar issues? The new Danish drug Oinquick might be for you.
I'm a miracle medicine. We're going to be best friends forever, which is how long you have to take me.
Side effects include lack of appetite, pancreatitis, having to buy new pants, a brutally painful death, and not being able to play Santa at Christmas. Oinquick!
Okay, I have to address the elephant in the room, by which I mean Homer. How come you're not on that stuff, Dumbo?
Because it makes you stop eating, and eating is natural. Body positivity.
Before we get to the commercial, but like, that's such a good line from Homer. Like, well, yeah, I like eating. Yeah, maybe he overeats and drinks alcohol, but still, eating food is fun.
It's one of my favorite pastimes.
That and baseball, of course.
Of course, yes. I think about food all day long. I think about, like, my next meal, the meal that I just had.
Well, I mean, that's like I'm assuming that's you and your partner. Your daily discussion is what's dinner.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And usually it's, I don't care.
Whatever you want.
Okay, fine. I want a giant jalapeno pineapple pizza with a creamy garlic sauce.
Not that. No, not that.
All right, well, you said anything.
Well, anything but that.
We both love cooking. We've talked about cooking on the show, so I guess that is a side effect of taking an Ozempic is pooping and not eating and have no desire to eat.
Yeah, I've heard that it's like the way that ADHD drugs distract your brain from thinking about other things. It distracts your brain from food, which is what it does. And that's disappointing to me because I like food too much.
I agree, brother.
Right on. But that, like you said, that animation for that ad is a lot of fun because it really captures what those medical ads are like. The black and white color and just the crappy like 90s clip art animation. Also parodying the song that was parodied in the Ozempic commercials, Magic by Pilot. It's also really good.
That commercial is an earworm too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad though. Like, I miss commercials that weren't about insurance and drugs. Because like in the streaming world that we live in today, like it's all when you watch shows with ads, if you're not rich enough to afford all ad-free services, all the ads that you see are going to be either for other TV shows that are on that same network, which you're going to watch anyway, insurance, or medication that you probably don't need, but you can ask your doctor about. And I just miss, like, advertisements about, like, fast food places or a candy bar.
Well, I mean, if you have over-the-air bunny ears TV or cable TV, you still get those commercials.
That's true.
But that voice of the Ozempic needle, I'm not sure whose voice that was, Steve. Is that someone I should be knowing who they are?
Well, that's a Danish voice actress, Sidse Babcock Knudsen, who was also on The Simpsons previously in Throw Grandpa from the Dane, where she played a Danish woman. And this is particularly fun because Ozempic is a Danish drug, and so to have a Danish actress voice the drug, it's fitting.
What else is she known for, Steve? Let's find out.
Okay, let's find out together.
As a group?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to go on the internet machine and look at international movie-based data. Mm-hmm. She was born November 22nd. That's all I know. I don't know the year. She is known for Professor Andrea Lavin on Prime Target TV series.
Oh.
7 episodes, yeah. She was in 50 Shades of Greek as the voice of Freya. Only 2 episodes. How about Ted Lasso, Steve, as Bridget, voice, 1 episode.
Ah, yes.
I hope to hear Bridget voice in Ted Lasso season 4.
Oh, yeah. It's probably the episode where they go to
Danish land?
Exactly.
She was in Westworld in 8 episodes.
Wow.
How about Take the Trash from 2008? She played Lotta.
Lotta Trash.
How about Dogville, the pilot?
Mm.
It was a video. Her name was Grace. Of course, was 2003.
Ah, yes.
How about Streiser Parsons Wolf?
My favorite.
Hannah Jensen, 2 episodes from 1997 1998 in Streiser Parsons Wolf. She was in Taxi. No, not that Taxi, Steve.
Oh.
Yeah, some other Taxi from another foreign land.
Oh, not the one with Queen Latifah and Jimmy Fallon?
No.
Damn.
So, yeah, she must be a fan of something.
Probably windmills, clogs, tulips.
I just found out she was going to be on the show, but since we're talking about her, she doesn't like us anymore.
No. Sorry, Sidse. Maybe next time.
I'm going to get some trivia real quick. Was listed among the Hollywood Reporter's 25 most powerful women in Globo TV in 2014 for her work in Borgen.
That's impressive.
Oh, Steve, in 2014, she was knighted as a Chevalier de l'Ordre des Artistes des Lettres, which recognizes significant contributions to the arts, literature, and propaganda, propagation of all these fields.
propaganda of all these fields.
Although she was educated in Paris and speaks French, she wasn't cast in the French film production until 20 years after she completed her education.
Wow.
However, she was cast after the producer saw her work in the Danish TV series Morgan.
I gotta watch this Morgan.
Borgen. Okay, enough about Sidney. Homer may cite body positivity as the reason for not taking the drug, but Bart is positive that his father looks like a talking beach ball. And Homer firmly states that he would only go on medication if his doctor told him to. And he doesn't see doctors, as they are always telling him to do stuff.
Bart jokes that he'll never lose Homer in a crowd, but Lisa tells Bart to quit the fat shaming. She goes on to say that she loves her father regardless of how he looks. And Marge does too. She then tries to get validation from her mother, who avoids answering, even when Homer asks, caressing his multiple chins.
Lisa shows her support of Homer, happy he's not giving in to Big Pharma. The only thing that Homer is giving into is Big Parma at Luigi's. So the family cheers as Homer dials Luigi's for his favorites list, which also includes Krusty Burger, Moe's, and a heart surgeon.
Well, on the phone with Homer, Luigi writes in a reservation for The Simpsons at 5 p.m. That's the lone reservation in the book. In fact, the only occupants of the Italian eatery are a raccoon lapping up a spilled cup of coffee, vultures flying overhead, several cobwebs, and a tumbleweed blowing by. Luigi excitedly tells his mother about the dinner reservation, but the toned-down Mrs. Risotto doesn't have time to cook because she's got the soul cycle.
Mrs. Risotto still looks like Milhouse's grandmother.
Yep. It's the episode that I can't wait to see in season 38.
Homer, Bart, and Lisa drive off to get dinner, leaving Marge and Maggie on the couch. Suddenly, the TV turns on by itself, and the screen is the Oinquick mascot Needle speaking directly to Marge.
What's wrong, Marge? Upset that you're going to be the only woman in town stuck with an overweight hubby?
What? No, of course not. Am I? Ow!
You love Homer, I get it. But obesity is a major health risk. I should know. I'm in medicine.
Actually, you are medicine.
Good one, yeah. So maybe you do want him to change. Wouldn't it be hotter if he looked like this?
Oh.
Something for both of you. A six-pack and a washboard.
I like the Needle saying that I'm in medicine and then Marge pointing out that she actually is medicine. Also, the fact that Homer would want a six-pack and Marge, because she's Marge, would want a washboard. Because when she's not vacuuming, she wants to do laundry.
Because you think washboard abs, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the anthropomorphic Needle then shows a possible future if Homer doesn't inject himself, displaying on the TV a tombstone of Homer next to a large mound of dirt which has another second tombstone on it that says, more of Homer. Marge then imagines her homie ballooning up until he explodes.
So that evening, Marge wakes Homer up from his sleep. So this is all a dream, right?
I guess so. It's weird. I don't know when the reality of Marge talking to the Needle is.
I'm watching it again, and they're all on there calling for Luigi's, but you don't actually see them go to Luigi's. Because Luigi's on the phone, and he tells his mom. Yeah. So I think once... Yeah, he calls Luigi's, has the 5 o'clock reservation, then Luigi tells his mom that they got a reservation. And then it just cuts to Marge and Maggie on the couch, just looking scared.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I think, where the dream begins. So I think they did go to Luigi's.
Okay. That makes sense.
But it's just also funny that in her dream... I don't know, it's funny. It's cute that she's in her dream. She's just holding a sleeping Maggie.
It is. That's how good of a mother she is.
Yeah. Always caring about her Maggie. She's awake now, and Homer hopes it's for snuggling, but unfortunately, it's for talking, which Homer claims is just as good. After giving it some thought, Marge feels that Homer should try to get down to fun size again. Homer is surprised, since he thought Marge loved him for who he was. Marge assures him that she does, but she also wants him to be alive to see Lisa graduate from college, and for Bart to get a good deal on a used car.
That is such a good joke. It's so specific that the best that Bart can do is get a good deal on like a used Toyota.
I love it when they just downplay Bart.
Yeah.
A fuck up. Like, you know, that time when she did the Chanel dress.
Homie, I like your in-your-face humanity. I like the way Lisa speaks her mind. I like Bart's
Bart!
You're fine for what you are, I guess.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So Marge begs Homer to take the medicine, and Homer agrees. This excites Marge, and so now it's time to snuggle, aka fuck. Homer and Marge enjoy themselves and each other, but the Oinquick needle, staring in the corner of the bedroom, is appalled by what it's witnessing, or marking that it hates having eyes that can't blink.
So on the Opal Show, the daytime talk show host tells her audience that she's tried everything to lose weight, hiring personal chefs, and consulted the best doctors, as well as Dr. Phil and Oz. She even bought a weight loss company, like a normal person, but nothing seemed to work. That is, until she got on Oinquick. And as was referencing earlier, Oprah did buy Weight Watchers, but then still ended up taking Ozempic.
Of all the people who should accept their body for what it is, I feel like Oprah should. I think that she represents a lot of women, and I think that that's better. But Opal shows off her new slender body, saying that she is as thin as she was the night her boyfriend Steadfast proposed to her. She goes on to say that her new weight loss is permanent, unless the drug stops working. And hopefully it doesn't, because she's giving it to everyone in the audience, and she tells the crowd to look under their seats, and the people excitedly jab themselves with Oinquick as Opal chants, "You get a waistline, you get a waistline, you get a waistline." And she goes on to brag that she's so generous that it doesn't matter that she isn't humble, before telling her fans to only read the books that she likes. And now, Craig, you mentioned Music Jail, and I want to talk about Joke Jail here. Oprah gave away cars in 2004. That's 19 years ago. No, that's 26 years ago. No, that's 21 years ago. And I think that the Oprah jokes we can lay off those as well a little bit.
You don't have to ask me once or twice or 3 times.
Good. It's also weird that I was thinking about it in 2017, it's like 2018, 2019, we were thinking about who would be the president after Trump the first time. There was a lot of serious conversation about having Oprah run for president, and what a weird, innocent time that was.
I mean, Alf, the alien life form, he could be president.
Yeah.
Sure, he's going to eat your cat, the one that keeps meowing on this podcast.
Sorry.
But it's worth it.
I mean, for you, it's probably better than that way. I don't agree with his cat eating policies, but I do like the way that he gave shit to that pedophile, Willie. So that's good.
Wait, I don't think Willie was he? I think he just liked kinky sex stuff. I don't think it had to do with kids.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's fine then.
Yeah. Also, correct me if I'm right, but her boyfriend Steadfast, wasn't his name Straight Man?
It was, thank you. I was going to say that too, and I wasn't sure, but you are correct, yeah.
Maybe they didn't want to use that name anymore.
Because the joke is tired about him or her possibly being gay, or he possibly being gay.
Right.
Which just goes to show how tired Oprah jokes are, because that was in the cultural zeitgeist then, and now it's tired, so stop it.
Yeah. All right, joke jail. And yeah, I mean, actually, let's throw Oprah in jail too, because she did introduce us to Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil.
It's true, yeah. 2 horrible people.
All right. Well, in the apartment of Patty and Selma, the skinny Bouvier sisters praise Oinquick, calling it a miracle. And Marge asks how long they've been on it, but they deny taking the wonder drug, claiming to lose the weight through moderate eating and exercise. Patty adds that they quit smoking.
So Marge says that those who quit smoking usually actually gain weight, but before she can finish that thought, Selma mentions that they both have fiancés whom they met at work. But the sisters never showed interest in their future partners, husband and wife, respectively, as they were both chubbos. And Marge wonders how her sister's new love interest became so thin, and wonders if Homer could do the same.
And how did they lose weight? Eating in moderation. Well, even if they did take that drug, I don't think they need to be ashamed. Homer's seeing the doctor about getting on it right now. Homer? They better find a needle strong enough to get through hippo hide. I'm sorry you don't have a husband with the willpower to lose weight naturally, like us. Yeah, by the way, Marge, can we each borrow $900 a month? It's for, vegetables and yoga pants. If we miss 1 dose of yoga pants, we balloon right back up.
Since you've lost a lot of weight recently, have you been wearing yoga pants?
Yes. No, actually, I wear pajama pants. They're sweatpants without the band around the ankle, which I guess are basically yoga pants, so yeah.
You only wear your formal pajamas when you shop at Walmart, right?
Exactly. And the hat and the candle.
I like this also like ongoing joke. We'll see it a couple times of it starts here with Patty and Selma when no, we're not taking the drug. We're just, eating moderate and exercising. Like everyone who's on the drug just says the same thing. It's like, oh no, I'm just eating moderate and exercise. But I'm not on the drug.
Oh, of course not. No.
Yeah.
So Homer pays a visit to the Springfield Weight Loss Center, which is no longer a hospital, since it claims that no one is sick anymore. Homer asks Dr. Hibbert why Oinquick is so costly at $900 a month, and the now trim doctor tells him that insurance no longer covers it, and pharmacies are struggling to keep it in stock. The good doctor, not that one, adds that the drug is being reserved for those who truly need it the most. Homer assumes that means those who are actually suffering and sick, but Julius Hibbert explains that it's the A-list Hollywood stars, who need it now more than ever, since it's, of course, award season.
Now, Steve, you know how like sometimes you take something, or you get something, but something has to be lost? For instance, you did a joke jail with the Oprah, you get a car bit. I think we have to put one of our jokes in jail.
Oh, the good doctor one?
The good doctor's not on TV anymore. No one gets referenced now.
That's true, and I don't think people got it before either, so I think you're right. I will send that one to joke jail, or at least joke home, what is it called when you're in prison at home?
Home arrest?
Yeah, home arrest, because I'll still make the joke around the house to myself, and I'll laugh at my own joke. So yeah, put an ankle monitor on that joke.
Will do. So Homer asks Hibbert where he got his dose of Oinquick, but he claims he lost weight through natural means, since he knows the value of diet and exercise, being a medical practitioner. Homer points out that Hibbert has been a medical professional for 2 decades and is just now losing weight. Dr. Hibbert lets out his trademark laugh before firmly telling Homer to get out.
So Homer walks down the streets of Springfield, seeing emaciated versions of Sam the Barfly, Mrs. Vanderbilt, and the oh yes guy. And then he arrives at the Wrong Aid Pharmacy, which is being protected by 2 armed security officers. Homer looks into the window to see the opioids completely untouched, but the glass cabinet holding weight loss drugs has been ransacked. He then pays a visit to Otto, thinking that he might have the goods, but when that proves to be unsuccessful, he checks out some legitimate businessmen.
Do you have Oinquick?
No, just Sudafed, NyQuil, and one of the hardest things of all to get out of a drugstore, razor blades.
I've heard you're looking for a certain weight loss vaccine. You got cash?
Does anyone anymore?
Not to worry, we take the Venmo.
And occasionally, the Zelle.
But never the Cash App. They offer the Bitcoin, but not the Ethereum. How am I supposed to arbitrage between the two? Forget about it!
Here you go. Pure uncut Oinquick. Guaranteed to reduce the labanza. It's the antipasto.
Where did you get this?
Let's just say a truck lost a little weight passing through Springfield.
Wait a minute, I thought you don't get high on your own supply.
I personally lost this weight through diet and exercise.
In that clip, we heard Otto talking about how hard it is to get razors. And I've switched to metal razors that I order online, but that just really annoys me. As somebody who shaves my head, I need razors, and to get replaceable ones is such a hassle at a grocery store or a drugstore, and I just hate it so much. So, good joke.
You use metal razors?
Mm-hmm.
I use adult contemporary razors.
What I should use is hair metal.
There you go. Now, I don't want it to sound like old man yelling at cloud, but
Sure.
Remember when you could go to the grocery store and get everything without asking for assistance to open a thing to get your laundry detergent or your razors or your extra small condoms? I mean, vodka.
Your extra small vodka.
Yeah, extra small vodka. That's the ticket. That's the ticket. That's joke jail. No, but is it because kids are eating Tide Pods that they locked it up, or can you make meth out of it? What is the deal with laundry detergent being locked up and razors? Is that just because people are stealing them because they're so expensive?
Yeah, I think that more than anything, it's a commentary about how bad capitalism is. That I remember a summer or two ago, baby formula was being locked up.
Right.
And how fucked up is that?
Yeah.
Not a political podcast, but like, yeah, it's a bummer that people feel that, or are forced to steal things that they need because prices are so high. Because, razors are like $14 for like 3 razors, and
you also don't need to like keep buying razors. They last for a long time.
Mm-hmm, it's true. You can keep them going for a long time.
Yeah, just make sure they're not exposed to a lot of water and moisture. Just keep them dry. You're good.
Gremlins rules.
Yeah.
Don't get it wet, don't feed it after midnight, and don't shave in the bright light.
So, Homer is disappointed to see Fat Tony, or is it Fit Tony, I forget, lying like everyone else about taking the drug. After all, if you can't trust godfathers, who can you trust? So the mob boss firmly states that he doesn't cheat on his diets. He would never cheat on anything except for his wife.
So we then hear a parody of Velvet Underground's Heroin called Weight Loss Drug, which is very spot on, with the monotone singer scene-talking a la Lou Reed about dropping a size without exercise. So as the song goes on, Marge witnesses the townspeople affected by Oinquick. We see a very thin bumblebee man breaking off one of his antennae to tie up his arm, only to stab himself in the leg with the drug. Gil lights up a spoonful of no-frills chili, and Wiggum uses a drug-sniffing dog to track down bags of Oinquick, which Clancy then stuffs down his now very baggy pants.
I don't know who the credit is for that Velvet Underground parody song, but I was like, listen to him, like, this is legit. This is a real song.
It is really good. Like, it covers it very well.
So, even the thin body of Dr. Marvin Monroe isn't safe, as Snake picks his pockets, tossing his wallet aside for a dose of Oinquick. In the town square, people walk around, famished. One guy holds up a sign saying that he'll work for anything but food. And even the statue of Jebediah Springfield has been trimmed down. Marge wonders what happened, and once again, the spokes needle for Oinquick offers an answer.
What happened to these people?
They look fabulous, right?
They look sad. Maybe it's all that loose skin sagging from their faces.
Hey, getting a Oinquick face is one of the few negative effects. And you can always fix that with injections of body fat. Trust me, I'm a wonder drug.
The more I see, the more I wonder.
Okay, Boomer. Look, weight loss is healthy, no matter how. We've done a lot of research.
On safety?
On profits. The profits are 100% safe. And we'll find out the dangers sooner or later.
After everyone's already on it? Including my husband.
Exactly. The most enormous beta test of all time, and you lab rats are paying us to be in it. Patates Getoba, which means suckers.
Homer!
I love the thought bubble.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about it a couple podcasts ago. Is there a thought bubble in every episode of The Simpsons? I think we need to track that.
I feel like there is, and yeah, I think we should track it. I'll keep an eye out for them. I also think that clip is a really good commentary on the way that America views the pharmaceutical world right now. Like, oh, if you're too skinny, you can just inject fat into your face to make up for the fat that you lost. And, it doesn't matter as long as there's profits. What a horrible world we live in.
Yeah, I mean, again, not a political podcast, but the capitalistic nature of this country sucks. I mean, the country of America, not our country, Canada, which of course
exactly right.
We broadcast from. I mean, America's healthcare system is just the worst. You should have a right to live as a human being, and the fact that if your health insurance can't cover something, just die.
Yeah, or pay hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So, I don't know. Be more Luigi and less Marios, guys.
That's a good point.
Speaking of tired jokes, she also called Marge a boomer. Are we at that point, too, in Joke Joe, where using the okay boomer is maybe done?
Yeah, I think so, because first of all, the Simpsons aren't boomers. They're Gen X, and then they're millennials, and pretty soon they'll be Gen Z, because of the way the timeline works. But, I think okay boomer is, we're done with that. It was a moment several years ago, and yeah.
Bring it back 8 years from now, and I think it'll be funny.
Absolutely, you're totally right.
Right now, Just start going around and doing the 7-Up, what's up, guys? Like, that'll kill.
Yeah. Make 7-Up yours and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the Bud Wise. I mean, come on, that'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
Start doing Austin Powers impersonations.
Yeah, baby. Shagadelic. Maybe bring back, maybe Jim Carrey's, like, Schmokin' or...
Bring back every, the pet detective, Ace Ventura. Do all those. Start talking with your butt cheeks. Oh my god, this is good.
Yeah, just don't think too much about the plot point of Ace Ventura in the modern parlance, because it's probably problematic. But yeah, other than that.
Alrighty then. Steve, let's just get back to The Simpsons.
Okay, don't stop me. Somebody. So Marge runs off, just as Homer is about to inject himself. When Lisa asks if he's sure he's making the right choice, Homer replies that he's as sure as he was that he wasn't sure the day before. And Lisa supports her father, but just barely. And that's also what Homer's chair says, according to Bart, saying that he's going to miss the fat jokes. Homer argues that there'll still be bald jokes, but Bart doesn't think they'll be the same.
Bart is probably going to end up being a comedy writer.
Mm-hmm.
And even for a comedy writer, their greatest achievement in life was getting a good deal on a used car. So it works.
It does, yeah. And I think that's the best that Bart can hope for, and the worst that Marge can hope for is him ending up taking some UCB classes and then getting a staff show on an unpopular cartoon.
Yeah, he'll be a staff writer for a Chuck Lorre show. Oh, man. So Homer grabs a portion of his gut, sending a sweet goodbye to his love handles, saying they will be in heaven along with his back fat, triple chin, and his finger chub. Before he could take the shot, Marge bursts in, telling him to stop.
So Marge flings the needle in the trash, admitting that she was wrong. Oinquick may be the hot new trend, but as Marge points out, so were fanny packs, tramp stamps, and Teslas. Homer looks shamefully at his Tesla logo lower back tattoo, which he usually hides with a fanny pack. And there's a new game I play, because on the weekends my wife and I will do chores like go grocery shopping or, be out and about on the town. And, Portland's a very liberal city who doesn't like our dictator turned president turned whatever, Elon Musk. And yet there are so many Teslas in Portland driving around. Saturday, this recent Saturday, we were out for maybe 2 hours, and I counted 7 Teslas. They're just everywhere, and I feel like there was like a deal at some point where everybody wanted one because it was the hot new thing, and now they're stuck with them. And like what they represent, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, they bought them before they knew the craziness of Musk, I'm assuming. Unless you're talking about those Cybertrucks, then there's no...
Yeah, Cybertrucks are inescapable because they're just stupid. But yeah, I wonder if that's how like Germans felt about driving Volkswagens in like the 30s.
Or how Bewitched fans felt about Dick York leaving and being replaced by Dick Sargent.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with what you said.
But I like it.
Sorry, I just had a lot of dick on my mind.
Who doesn't?
Well, Homer thought Marge wanted him to get thin so they could grow old together. Marge doesn't want that. Marge does want that, but even more important is that they are together in the present, and they can spend the time they have living safely and peacefully. So suddenly, Fat Tony's goons walk in.
And since Homer is the last remaining overweight person in Springfield, he has something that the mob wants. So they take Homer away, telling Marge that it's a side effect of not taking the drug. So the gangsters try to throw Homer in the back of the car, but he's too fat. So Tony tells them to throw them in the trunk, but once again, he won't fit there. So Tony says to tie him to the roof of the car, but the mobsters then find that they don't have enough rope. So eventually, Homer is knocked out, and when he awakes, he's surrounded by a feast of delicious food.
Pork chops! Fat Tony! Ooh, pork chops!
We need your fat to fill in our faces, so we can look eternally young like the real housewives, who don't look real and spend all their time outside of the house. Now eat. Manja!
What you said makes me almost not want to eat. The police are going to be furious.
Actually, no we're not. Come on, Swallow. Can't wait to get your ass in my face.
You monster! Wait till the mayor hears about this! Oh, believe me, I know. Slim Tony and I are in cahoots. The mayor in league with the mob? I'm happy to reach across the aisle as long as it's not with the members of another political party.
Give me back my Look who's here. Little Miss Thin without having to take drugs. Which none of us take.
Because they all got thin from moderate exercise and moderate eating. Or, yeah,
That's
diet
right.
and exercise.
When Homer said the mayor, it sounded like he said a mirror.
Wait till the mayor hears about this.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he's talking about like the co-founder of Headgum Studios or a Looking Glass. But yeah, also the line about get your ass into my face. That's funny.
Yeah. That's what every millennial says on the first date.
That's right.
Patty claims that Marge is jealous because they are more beautiful than her. But as she says this, she walks by a fan which blows her loose face skin back. The people of Springfield all want Homer and his fat, but Marge is taking him back. Louie asks Marge, "You and what army?" And Luigi arrives with several food service workers, stating that they are true victims of Ozempic. Oinquick.
Yeah. So Mo is among those who have lost more than weight from the drug, asking if one of those people could operate a beer tap by themselves. And sure they could. But as Mo loses his train of thought, Luigi goes on to say that the drugs stop not just eating, but so much more.
These drugs don't just stop your eating. They stop all your compulsive behavior. And compulsive behavior isn't the only reason anybody eats a spaghetti. It's like a worms with less nutrients.
Hypocrito! Criticizing us when you're clearly riding the O-train yourself.
I'm not taking the drugs.
Yeah, we know. Diet and exercise.
No, I lost weight legitimately from a severe depression. You are ruining my life.
Homer, they took your tuchus?
Ah! You can't leave me like this. I'm like the Batman villain Two-Face. Beautiful on one side and hideous on the other.
Which is the beautiful side again?
Here's a thought. Maybe you can all stop taking the drug.
If I knew the meaning of the word stop, I would not be taking it. Durr!
Look at your faces.
I like Agnes Skinner getting a dig on her former fiance.
Yeah, you forget they were together, yeah. But Steve remembers. He remembers all.
I never forget, except for anything that happened in the 9th month of the year. Also, the animation of Patty and her face being blown back is pretty frightening.
But, out of all the people that are on Ozempic, Patty and Selma look pretty good.
Especially in the apartment, they were not bad.
They didn't have the weird giant head.
No, I mean, it actually worked for them.
All right.
So Homer offers to speak up, as he has far more experience confronting mobs than Marge. He tells the crowd that as the last fat man in Springfield, he may not be able to see his feet. They can see something else, that they are all unhappy. He goes on to say that we should all love people for what's inside of them, delicious food, and thinks of the American chemist who designed potato chips to make you hungrier, sodas that make you thirstier, and all that you can eat restaurants that make you never feel full again.
While sitting and eating food, watching TV about food with commercials for more food, the people start chanting Food SA, and even the rich Texan feels that if they replace America with Texas, he'd be on board. And Lindsay Nagel vows to get off the weight loss drug and back on antidepressants, mood elevators, and useless vitamins.
It's the American way. Luigi assures Fit Fat Tony that his table is still available, along with the gun hidden behind the toilet. The two Italian-Americans hug, and everyone is happy. Homer eats a slice of pizza, thereby returning his lost ass, and Patty and Selma regain their weight and lost their fiancés. So they're having a group salogamy celebration instead.
And Homer wonders what a salami celebration is. And Marge explains that it's when a person marries themselves, though in this instance, Patty and Selma will be doing it together, but not together, despite the fact that they live together.
And it took me a long time to realize that salogamy is like monogamy.
Banana.
And I guess that's probably a thing that people actually do, is marry themselves just to be egotistic. Marge fills out her RSVP for the celebration, and the Oinquick needle springs up from the trash, asking Marge what she'll wear. And so, after talking about a little black dress and after some pressure, Marge takes the drug, and everything goes black. She worries that she's gone blind, but the mascot points out that only happens to 3% of the patients, and that's our episode.
Wait, does that mean Marge is now blind from here on out?
I think so, yeah.
Or is it also established that after this, she's always going to be on Ozempic?
I like to think that she's blind, and then in the future, when Ned's LASIK surgery fails him and he goes blind, they can find each other, well, not visually, but emotionally, and they can be together like they're supposed to be.
I'll allow it.
All right.
What a journey we were on, Steve. I'm going to say I'm going to take a break, and so will you, and we'll come back and wrap it up.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back.
Oinquick. You know, you might lose your big toe. Oinquick. Beware, you might lose all your hair. Oinquick. You cough, then your kidneys fall off. Oinquick. You'll die, but you'll be thin, so don't cry. Oinquick. You know.
All right, Steve, we're back. Let's finish this week's episode, The Last Man Expanding. We'll talk about some of our favorite jokes, maybe give it an MVJ for Most Valuable Jokester, talk about our scenes that we liked, give it a review, find out what we're watching next week. But before all of that, Steve, we like to examine this episode and find products or something that could be a product. That would be a gift to our co-host, and that would be you with me, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The obvious one is the Oinquick, but I know you're pretty much against Ozempic, and you've lost weight the natural way, of course, with diet and exercise.
Sure.
So I'm not going to do that, Steve. I'm not giving you any of that. You don't need it. You're perfect the way you are, Steve.
Ah, shucks.
And because of that, I think you're a little too thin, but thin enough for my plan, Steve. I am going to put you in this poster tube and send you to Vladimir Putin.
Oh, boy.
Because we never discussed what was Burns' plan once he got to Putin.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but there's a continuation in the credits about of the ad and people of Springfield enjoying their thin life on Ozempic, and one of them is Vladimir Putin receiving the tube with Burns in it. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I know that they're implicating that Burns is evil and so is Putin, but I don't exactly know. But I'll take it. I'll hop in a tube. Maybe I can help the world that way.
All right. I guess you should probably get something else. Here, you can have all of Moe's life insurance policies for Barney and Homer, Lenny and Carl. You can have those.
Nice. I feel like Carl's probably loaded. He's the one that I'd want the most.
Yeah, but then you just have to deal with the lawyers of Iceland.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Politics, yeah. I don't think we should be taking Greenland. We should be taking Iceland. I've been saying this the whole time.
Makes sense to me.
I mean, don't you remember in 1990, I want to say 2 or 4, how the junior hockey team from Iceland just embarrassed our junior hockey team. Those kids, those mighty kids from that Minnesota, they almost embarrassed us. But luckily, we had Kenan Thompson with his knuckle puck.
That's right.
I'm, of course, talking about D2, the Mighty Ducks 2.
Of course. And also, Iceland has Bjork. Greenland doesn't. Enough said.
Oh, yeah, you need another gift. Oh, shit. I don't know. That's good enough for you. How about dinner reservations at Luigi's? On me, all right?
Ah, shucks, that's very nice of you. I didn't want to get you Oinquick either, so I got you some things that will last forever. Like a fanny pack, a tramp stamp, and a Tesla. That's right, I splurged and got you a fanny pack.
Hey, they are coming back. They are kind of trendy now.
Yeah, that's right. You can wear it over your shoulder like a cool person.
Does it have the Tesla T logo on the fanny pack?
Oh, yeah.
Even better. Steve, I actually did write down other gifts here on my notes. Thoughtful gifts. The beginning of the episode, you get a Simpsons pinball machine. There you go.
Oh, damn, that's good.
And I was also going to give you, since you have lost weight, you don't need a 10-gallon hat. I'm giving you a 5-gallon hat.
Wow. Well, in that case, I will give you a flying rake.
Perfect. All right.
All right.
Steve, what scenes made you laugh? Do you have a most valuable jokester? Lay it on us.
Well, yeah, Craig. I think that the Oinquick needle is a lot of fun, and I think the actress did a great job depicting it as an evil kind of spokesperson. But as problematic as his jokes are in the current culture of, body positivity. And I do want to say that I really appreciate Homer's sense of owning his own body and being proud of it. But I think Bart's jokes made me laugh the most. I know that they're not, politically correct, and I just think that when he had the opportunity to make jokes, he made them well. Like, I can barely support you, like your chair. Speaking of the elephant in the room, these are classic jokes that, while fat shaming is wrong, I think the joke structure is very good. So I'm going to give it to Bart, despite them being problematic. What are your thoughts, Craig?
Well, I hate to be someone who steals things, but I'm going to, Stephen. I think you're right. Bart is the jokester, just because of the dumb jokes, and we love dumb jokes.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite joke still is the writers, why was Viagra invented for comedy writers. I thought that was a great joke.
It's really solid.
And I love, for the fans, the meme culture of Chief Wiggum just talking about how he's going to have more kids, and even one's going to look like Eddie, or look more like Eddie than Ralph is. So that was a great callback. So I'll give it there. And you right, Bart as MVJ, and then of course Homer. Even though it's not the funny line, but the true line of why he doesn't want to take Ozempic, because he likes to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Food is good. Food is fun. So I like that about that. And yeah, there we go, Steve. Give us a review.
It's always kind of interesting when the Simpsons handle such a topical topic, or timely topic, and I think that this one is very much in the conversation nowadays, but I think it covers it well, because I think it's a good commentary not only on our medical industry that we live in and have to deal with, and the commercial nature of that and how problematic it is, but also just looking for a quick answer to a long-term problem. And, I just really appreciate the fact that everybody in town just went for it except for Homer. And even though he almost did take the drug, I think that he, standing strong, speaks a lot to it. I think the jokes were fun. I think the episode flowed nicely. I think this is a good episode. It may not be the best episode of the season, but I think it stands out as being a really good episode. And I enjoyed not only the writing of the episode, which is really good, but the animation, as I mentioned, all these people with the Oinquick faces and the thin bodies. Really fun transformation, the animation from the ads. And also, let's not forget the song parodies, both of the Ozempic song and, of course, heroin or weight loss drug. Both very good. So I really like this. And, of course, this episode is entitled Last Man Expanding, which is a take on the hit sitcom starring Tim Allen called Last Man Standing, which inexplicably had 194 episodes. Out of 194, I'm going to give this a 169.
Very well done, Steve, with a 69 joke.
Thank you.
Which will never go in joke jail, all right?
Nope, it's always nice.
You know how a lot of times when we review an episode, it's wow, the production order of this episode was earlier or later. A lot of times an episode feels like it should have been at the end of the season or maybe at the beginning of the season. This episode felt like it belonged exactly where it should belong in the series. It's in the middle of the season, getting towards the end of the season, but still it's okay for what it is, because it is this idea of in the moment type of episode. I don't know if this is going to have a lot of rewatchability in the coming years. For the moment that we're in right now, I think this episode's pretty well done. And you're right, the animation and directing, I think, were top notch. So we'll give it for that. You might have liked it more than me.
That's fair.
But it's okay. So I'm going to say I'm a mix on this, just because I think it won't have that same kind of remembrance 5 years down the line.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I get it.
But that being said, I still enjoy it more than one of those episodes that we didn't like. I can't think of Scorpion's Tail. There we go.
Yeah.
But if I did have to give this a ranking, Steve, of course, Ozempic was the parody of this, and that's Ozempic. Of course, they talked about how it was a drug meant for diabetes at first, but then turned out to be a weight loss type of drug. So when I think of diabetes, what do you think of? You think of Quaker Oats and that spokesperson of Wilford Brimley. If you don't know about the Brimley Cocoon line, it's about when Cocoon reached theaters on June 21st, 1985. Wilford Brimley was 50 years old when that movie came out. Because Cocoon was about a retirement community and aliens and some shit like that. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. But, so everyone's like, oh my God, Wilford Brimley was only 50? He always looked like he was 80. So, Steve, I'll have you know when you will cross that Brimley Cocoon line.
Ooh.
When you will be 50 years old, 9 months, and 6 days. You will be as old as Wilford Brimley on August 5th, 2032.
Wow.
Mark that in your calendar, Steve.
I will.
So, that, of course, is 18,530 days old. So I'll give this out of 18,530. I'll give it 16,666.
Nice. I like it.
All right. So, Steve, I think we're both good on it. Yeah. I think you liked it more than me. So, all right. That's okay. Because next week, Steve, is a new episode.
Oh, boy.
And you're going to have to give me a title for that episode. Just to give you a clue, it's the 785th episode of The Simpsons. It's also going to be season 36, episode 17.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, this episode was a take on a Tim Allen sitcom. And so I think they're going to keep that trend going. So I'm going to say next week's episode is going to be called Dough Improvement.
You were struggling there because you couldn't remember what the new sitcom is, right? Wasn't like Raising Gears? Is that what it's called?
Shifting Gears, I'm seeing.
Shifting Gears. Okay.
There's also only 10 episodes of that so far, so let's all hope that works out.
Well, Steve, it also did get a second season renewal, so you're good.
Oh, good.
I'm just going to say you're right, as in you're wrong, because the episode is actually called something else.
Oh.
P.S. I hate you.
You don't have to be rude, Craig. I guessed it and I got it wrong. I do that every week. We always get it wrong. We never guessed it right, so I'm sorry. Just lay off, okay?
And so the title for next week's episode is called P.S. I Hate You.
Oh, I see.
Well, I still hate you, though.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I get it. I'm not a fan either, honestly. I'm pretty awful.
Steve, what the hell do you think this episode's about?
I think...
And maybe that's your problem.
You're probably right. I think that Lisa's pen pal from Brazil begins writing her back via email and is angry with her for the way that she besmirched that kid's country. And so the Brazilian country is getting their revenge on America. And so they come to America and they attack Springfield. And in the B plot, Bart goes back to Australia just to kick some ass.
And the C plot, Marge goes on safari in Africa.
Yep, and Homer goes to Antarctica.
And of course, you're referencing the Brazil episode, Steve. We've never reviewed it.
It's true.
But we actually have, Steve. It's a lost episode.
That's right.
Technically, that was supposed to be our very first episode. There's some trivia that... have we ever said that on the podcast?
I think so, but maybe not.
Okay. All right, well, Steve, again, you're a moron, and I hate you.
It's reasonable. I understand.
But I'll give you the plot for P.S. I Hate You. It is Marge's nice lady reputation is on the line when an unknown blackmailer threatens to expose the angry woman she is inside. Oh. Hey, Steve, we got some guest stars.
Oh.
We got John Lovitz as Artie Ziff.
Nice.
Tim Meadows as himself.
Great.
And Beverly D'Angelo as Lorraine Lumpkin. I'm going to predict that this is be like all in Marge's mind, right? Like those characters show up, or will they actually be on said episode?
I think everybody should be real except for Tim Meadows, who just appears in Marge's mind.
Just like stumbles in on the set. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be here.
Oh, hey.
Not animated at all, right?
Exactly. You just kind of shows up and like, oh, yeah.
I think this might be a good one because we got Cesar Mazuragos, who is one of the newer writers, but we've liked his work, so I'm looking forward to next week's episode.
Yeah, I love a Marge episode. I love a Caesar episode. It's cool to see John Lovitz back and Beverly D'Angelo, and Tim Meadows is always a delight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Remember when we started the podcast, we did a bit where cast the live action Simpsons, and I had Tim Meadows as Ned Flanders.
That's right. That was a good call.
But now I would cast improv actor Tim Baltz as Ned Flanders.
Oh, that's good.
Watch Righteous Gemstones. He plays BJ. All right, Steve. Speaking of BJ's, I got a date tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, they got pizza at BJ's. And a
special treat afterwards. By, of course, I mean the Paizuki.
Exactly. All right, Steve, thank you for showing up today. And also thank you to the listeners for listening. And we want to hear from you. The simplest way to do that is, of course, on email at what38simpsons@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on socials like Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at 138simpsons.
And hey, if you're so kind, go to your favorite podcatching app, leave us 5 stars or the equivalent, and leave a review, but it doesn't need to be a real review. You can just write us and tell us about the wonder drug that you lie about not taking, be it Ozempic, Viagra, or maybe a hair loss drug, or whatever it may be. We want to hear it.
And you know what? With all that weight you lost, you're going to need some new clothing. That's right, go to tpublic.com/user/AnnoyedGruntBoys for some Annoyed Grunt Boy merch. All right, Steve, it's time to say adieu. So thanks again for listening, everyone. I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And I've been Annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And remember, I can't wait to get your ass in my face.
Diet and exercise do not work for me, as I do not do them.
Stuff, Dumbo.
Because it makes you stop eating, and eating is natural. Body positivity.